Hello and welcome! My name is Chief and join me for another episode of Broken Sword to the Smoking Mirror, not the Broken Mirror. Holy fucking shit. Anyway, we're going to talk to the Sleazy guy that tried to eat Nicole's hand, that bastard, and we'll ask him about... Well, we'll start with him, I guess.
This is the tourist office? It says police on the sign outside.
Oh, that's a good question.
It is both, senor. I am a man of many parts.
I can see that, General.
Wow. I hope that doesn't mean he's actually like a cyborg. As you guys can see, there's a lot of things to talk about, and you have to go through all of them to progress. So let's get started.
Have you heard of a guy called Karzak?
No, I never heard of him.
Well, that's what you're saying
I
in
hear
the
there was
mine.
an accident at the mine a few months ago.
That's correct.
A lot of men killed, weren't there?
A few.
30?
Barely 1% of the working population.
That's quite heartless, actually. And
Is it true there's a restriction on music in Quaramonte?
Yes, there is. An emergency measure introduced by Nuestra Senora.
Folk music is a link with the past for some of these people. Take away their musical roots and what do they got left?
Easy listening.
You think easy listening could replace a musical heritage hundreds of years old?
Probably
Why
could.
not? It happened in your country.
Burn, burn, burn!
Are there any ruins around the city?
Of course, senor. Quaramonte has everything.
I have a friend who wants to visit an historical site.
Ronaldo will only be too pleased to conduct a guided tour. When he's dealt with today's paperwork, of course.
Well, that's quite cool. So we can help Paul out get a guided tour. Maybe Paul can help us out with something else.
Who was the guy you were talking to when we arrived?
Professor Ubier, a visitor,
Motherfucker!
senor, like yourselves.
Did you say Ubier?
Si, senor. Professor Ubier, a French archaeologist.
Where's Ubier
What's
going?
Ubier doing in Quaramonte?
Researching our rich and glorious past, senor. The professor is planning an expedition to some Mayan ruins. He came to see me to get an excavation permit.
Well, that's quite interesting. So, do you want the dog biscuit?
Would you like a biscuit?
Are you trying to bribe me?
Well, every man has his price.
Mine is more than a dog cookie, senor Stobart.
Oh, Stobart, you're not working out. Let's just give him the panties.
What do you think of these panties, General?
Oh boy, fabuloso!
They're yours if you'll tell me all you know about Karzak.
I told you, I never heard of the guy. Do I get the panties now? I told you all I know.
You told me nothing.
George, you can just give him the panties, man. You don't have to be... look mean.
Do you know anything about the forthcoming eclipse, General?
Such things do not interest me, senor.
That's quite interesting. And the Condor Trading Company?
Take a look at this label.
Si, senor. Condor Transglobal.
Can you tell me where to find their offices?
No, senor. I never heard of them, and neither did Ronaldo.
The lady at the mining company told us a ship belonging to Condor was here recently.
Conchita Garcia is crazy. If there had been a ship, do you think I wouldn't have noticed?
Well, depends on if you're telling the truth or not. But I think you're a
Are
lying
you
bastard.
sure you never heard of Condor?
Oh, yes.
The company is registered here, in Quaramonte City.
You are mistaken, senorita.
The musicians out in the square say that a ship flying the Condor flag was birthed here.
They are simple peasants. They will go along with anything you say in the hopes of parting you from your money.
Well, thank you very much for the information and this stone tablet.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
That's a native carving, isn't it? Where did you get it?
We picked it up in the market, as a souvenir.
Nicole, nice fucking save.
Condor is run by Karzak, isn't it?
Wrong again, senor. Karzak has nothing to do with anything called Condor. Whoever he is.
Do you keep a record of companies registered in Quaramonte?
Of course, senorita. Unfortunately, all the
Well, isn't
records
that
were
fucking
destroyed
convenient?
by a
Flash
flash
floods.
flood.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Okay, so that's Ronaldo. That's a camera thing. That's nothing I can use. Can I watch the television?
I decided to leave the television switched on.
And the monitor. We're just gonna play some games.
It was a computer monitor with some kind of outdated game displayed on it. I didn't have time to get sidetracked by playing computer games.
I do. I mean, that's all I do. That's actually kind of sad. And
I
awesome
had no
at the
need
same
for junk
time.
mail, especially someone else's.
Anyway, let's go talk to Ronaldo. 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 Yellow.
Hi, I'm George Stobart.
Hello, senor. How can I help you?
You look like a good person. Can you tell me about the eclipse?
You know anything about this eclipse?
No, senor. El General keeps me in the dark about most things.
Well, that's actually quite sad. And the ruins?
Are there any ancient pyramids near Quaramonte?
Si, senor. But it's not very impressive. It's in ruins.
That's
Oh.
perfect. Would you be willing to give a guided tour of the ruins?
I can't. The General would have a fit if I left all this paperwork.
Don't worry, I'll give you a dog biscuit.
Would you like a gourmet dog snack biscuit?
I would love one, senor. But I would have a problem with my teeth.
Toothache?
No, senor. If the General catches me eating on duty, he'll knock them out.
That's actually very, very sad. What do you know about the statue, though?
Do you recognize this statue?
Tezcatlipoca. The night wind. Take it away, senor. That stone is cursed.
It is cursed.
So long.
Is there a way to get... Oh,
I wasn't going to try investigating the passage while the general was sat there.
So there's a way to get the general away, so let's see how we do that. I'm in the police station, what next? Hint 1. Look around the police station and talk to General Ronaldo. We have done that. Hint 2. Look at the chart on the wall. We have not done that yet. Chart on wall. That's a map. Chart on wall! I'm sure the general won't mind. Us just... Check.
Senor. Leave the chart alone.
Why? What next? Leave the place and... That was totally fucking pointless. Okay, time to go catch that bastard Ubier, who trapped us, sold us out, got Nicole in trouble. Come, Nicole. Nice boob physics, by the way, Nicole. Where is that bastard?
Why did you show him the stone?
I thought maybe he might know something about it.
Well, he does now, for sure. He knows we have it.
Yeah, I know he has it. Oh, we're talking to Nicole. So, about
Did you
that...
notice that chart on the police station wall?
Yes, it looked like a map to me, but I couldn't make out the details.
Whatever it was, the general didn't want us to see it.
They sure didn't, but the general's
You
bit
came on
dodgy.
a little strong with the general.
I was merely flattering his ego, George. Every man has his Achilles heel.
Maybe. But that guy's weakness isn't in his foot.
Georgie boy.
Tell me about this Karzak guy.
Well, I saw him for only a few minutes, but he frightened me. I got the impression that Pablo was nervous when he was around too. His eyes, they're like a wild animal's, like a tiger. That's what scared me most about him. He looked so unpredictable and dangerous.
That's quite interesting, actually. And quite scary. Why is Andrea Lobino in the chat thing?
Labino tells me he's been seeing a lot of you.
We meet sometimes for lunch, a drink. After you'd gone back to the States, I was pretty lonely, you know.
Lonely? You must have been desperate. Couldn't you just visit the zoo or something?
That's actually quite rude. I mean, you went away. I mean, okay, sure, your father died and all that, but still, she's
That
lonely.
man we saw talking to the general was Ubier. Didn't you recognize him?
I never met him, remember? The guy I called in Paris claimed to be Oublié, but he sounded nothing like the man in the police station. Maybe the professor really is innocent.
Maybe.
It's too much of a coincidence that he's here in Quaramonte.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. We have a lot to talk about, but first, let's talk about this.
Would you like a biscuit?
Gourmet dog? Have you been eating those things, George?
Sure, they're great.
George, I think your stocks are going down with Nicole. She does not look very impressed with your
Guess what
taste
this
in
is?
food.
Go on, Guess.
It's wrought iron, probably from a chimney stack on an old stove.
Well, I suppose it could be.
You
How
forgot.
did she know that?
My grandfather used to work in a foundry.
You have to forget, Nicole is very, very quickly smart.
Do you recognize this?
Is that the dart which knocked me out?
Yes.
That's right. I kept it as a souvenir.
What kind of guy does that? And the worm?
Take a look at this, Nico.
That's disgusting, George. Why are you carrying it around with you?
I don't know. I just can't seem to part with it.
Yeah, that's the thing of these games. You always get these items, you never know where you're going to use them, and you use them in the most weird place. But once you do, they're gone forever.
Take a look at this.
Mon Dieu. Where did you get that kind of money?
It's not mine. I found that statement at Ubier's house.
I almost thought, George, suddenly your stocks would have gone up. But let's go watch the eclipse of Nicole.
Take a look at this.
An eclipse of the sun. Why the sudden interest in astronomy?
I found the cutting in Ubier's house.
Apparently, it's only visible from Central America.
Yeah, that's what they said. And what do you know about the stone?
Do you have any theories about this stone?
I think that design represents a dog, a Mexican dog.
So, this is the sacred Chihuahua stone? Sheesh.
She's the Chihuahua stone. And this statue?
Have you any idea who this little statue is supposed to be?
I'm not very well acquainted with Mayan deities, George. But whatever his name, he sure is ugly.
I agree with you there. And I also think George is a bit of a tool. But let's go find the professor. Hey. Dum, 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 dum. No professor over here. No professor over there. Sorry if my singing is bothering you people. I know my voice is so adorable and undeniably sexy that I just can't help myself. Yeah. Well, I don't think the Uber is over here, so maybe is there a way to go on? Yeah, we're gonna move that way. Oh, pull, before we forget. I think pull, I don't know where Obir is, we have to talk to him apparently, but maybe pull can get us away from the general.
Have you met the guy who calls himself the General?
No, I haven't. Is he a real general?
I guess so. He wears a lot of medals on his chest. The wrong side of his chest. At least for any army I'd ever seen. Catch you later, Pearl.
Oh, I thought pull would be useful. Okay, so no worries, we're gonna go on to that way. We're gonna find the professor and talk to him. Because obviously there is things we need to do and people we need to catch. I love the logic in this game, it's always a bit weird. We are walking that way around. Just to get here, there's a kid over there. A man. Another... Oh, it's Dwayne! You motherfucker, Dwayne. Are you working for beer? Oh, that man has no legs. That's actually quite sad. Ubier!
Professor Ubier?
Yes? Who are you?
My name is Stobart. George Stobart.
I thought that face was familiar. Remember me, George? Dwayne Henderson.
Hey,
Hi,
Dwayne.
Dwayne. Just a moment. I have a few questions to ask the professor here.
I wonder what to ask him about. Let's ask him about his wife.
Tell me about your wife, Professor.
Please, I don't want to talk about her.
Well, that's pretty sad. Why not?
Maybe you don't, but I do. Why was she known as the Little Dachshund?
It was just a silly pet name I used to call her. Somehow some damned reporter found out.
Oh, that's very funny. Let's ask about... Well, fuck. Let's start with the people,
Does the
shall
name
we?
Karzak mean anything to you?
Yes, I know him. In fact, if it wasn't for Kazakh, I wouldn't be here.
Wow.
What?
He's financing my expedition.
Well, that's nice of him. And Nicole?
What do you know about my girlfriend's abduction?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She was invited to your mansion in Paris.
Not by me, she wasn't. I haven't been home for nearly 7 months.
That is interesting. So maybe it was Kozak that planned everything.
Have you ever employed a Central American butler or servant?
I've never employed any kind of servant, monsieur.
That is interesting. And, okay, so let's get on to the quirky things. Back to the dog biscuits.
Would you like a biscuit?
No, thank you.
You should, they're good.
George,
I can't get enough of these things.
did you just eat one, George? You motherfucker. Anyway, let's ask him about the stone tablet thing. Stone?
Can you tell me anything about this stone?
Where did you get that?
That's my business.
How much do you want for it?
It's not for sale.
He wants to ask about the stone and you get all... Georgie boy.
Can you identify this statue, Professor?
Oh, yes. Tezcatlipoca, the Lord of Darkness.
A Central American god, right?
A supreme deity. Tezcatlipoca means, literally, smoking mirror. There. You see the mirror shield in his left hand?
Yes.
The Mayans believed he could look into the mirror and see into the hearts of men. He was the wind which came howling in the night in search of victims. And victims they gave him by the thousand.
Wow.
Human sacrifices?
Men, women, children, animals, anything that bled. The steps of his temple ran red with the blood of sacrifices.
Wow.
The Mayans have a legend that says he'll return one day. I hope I'm not around to see it.
That is fucking terrifying. Actually, a lot more terrifying than I thought. Let's ask him about the Condor
Do
Trading
you
Company.
see this label?
Yes.
Yes, it refers to a company named Condor. What of it?
I traced that company here to Quaramonte. Do you know where I can find the offices of Condor Transglobal?
The company no longer exists. They went bankrupt recently.
Oh. Well, that's interesting. So why would that guy just
I have proof that you are directly involved with Condor.
I used them as shippers to transport artifacts to a gallery in Paris. Beyond that, I have no connection with the company, which, as I said, no longer exists.
Well, that is interesting. And George, you are a bit suspicious of these people. And I have to tell you, you have to calm down a bit, you know? Just calm down, George.
Do you know anything about this eclipse, Professor?
Of
Yes!
course. It's not the reason I'm here in Quaramonte, but I'm looking forward to seeing it all the same.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm sure there's going to be no fucking ritual to do anything
What's
with
your
a Dark
interest in the
Lord.
eclipse, Professor?
Yeah, the
It's
eclipse.
purely a layman's curiosity. History's my subject, not astronomy. But I've been fascinated by the movements of the heavenly bodies since I was a child. I wouldn't miss a total eclipse for the world.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Let's ask him about the eclipse
Does
again.
the eclipse have some special significance for you?
From me? No. For the ancient Mayans, it marked the end of the Fifth Age.
Perhaps we should be celebrating.
Ah, no. The end of each age heralds destruction on a global scale. The fifth is the final age, ending in the total destruction of the Earth.
Oh, well, that's not good, is it?
Take a look at this, Professor. What have you got to say about that?
Where did you get this?
Never mind that. How do you explain these withdrawals,
I left my financial affairs in the hands of my secretary.
including the withdrawal of funds in cash from your personal account?
I trust Gwyneth implicitly.
And why Marseille? Why the very place my girlfriend was taken?
That's obvious, Stobart. We are both the victims of the same devious plot.
What plot?
I have no idea.
Well, fuck it. Okay. I'm gonna talk to Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne, nice truck.
Did you drive all the way down here?
Hell no. Pearl did the driving while I followed the maps. The way she handled the wheel, you'd think she'd been trucking half her life.
Maybe she did?
What's in the truck, Dwayne?
Oh, just camping equipment. Sleeping bags and tents. Me and Pearl always hankered after a taste of the great outdoors.
Aren't you worried about camping out in a tropical jungle?
We had a trial run in West Virginia. This'll be a breeze in comparison.
Oh, I can't agree with you, Dwayne. So how's things
Are
been
you
going?
still working for... you know who?
Who's that, George? You know I'm retired.
Oh, nothing. Forget it. I confused you with somebody else.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Well, that's actually quite sad. Do you know about the
Do
general?
you think the general was involved with Condor?
Hell no. And if he's a general, I'm a Buddhist. No, that fella's just a mouthpiece for the real power in Quaramonte.
I kind of agree with you there.
So the general is nothing but a puppet?
He's like Pinocchio before he met the Blue Rinse Fairy. Strictly strings and wood.
Who's pulling the strings?
His mother. Better known as La Presidenta, the dictator.
Well, that's actually quite good to know. What do you know about the music being banned?
Did you know that traditional music is illegal in Caramonte?
Is that so? Seems reasonable to me.
No, really. The leader of the band in the square has been imprisoned just because of the music he played.
I don't know who you've been talking to, but that fella, Miguel, he's an agitator.
An agitator?
What's the real reason the musician was imprisoned?
Handed out subversive literature at the mines. That so-called general was waiting for Miguel when he got back into town. Marched him off to jail at gunpoint on a charge of inciting a riot.
Well, that's interesting. So this... Actually, I think the general taught...
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Sounds like a comic book villain to me, son.
He's the man behind Condor, and the rat who kidnapped Nico.
You know, the first time I met you, I was deeply impressed with your naive simplicity. I said to Pearl, if we ever had kids, I would have wanted a boy like George. But I underestimated you, son.
I wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And I don't think George realizes that wasn't actually a compliment.
I spoke to Pearl earlier.
Yeah? Did she mention that we had a kind of falling out?
Yes, she did.
She'll get over it.
What happened exactly there, but do you want a lucky piece of coal?
Would you like to borrow my lucky piece of coal, Dwayne?
What's so lucky about it?
Well, we made it to Quaramonte in one piece.
When you've been here a few days, you won't look on that as luck.
I kind of agree. Do you want some panties for Paul?
What do you think of these panties, Dwayne?
Lord, hot stuff, George. You buy those for your girl?
No, a guy we knew in Paris bought them for her.
Oh, you're a threesome then.
No.
Why are you looking at me like that, George?
Forget it. Do you know anything about a shipping company called
my
Condor
God, these
Transglobal?
people.
I never heard of it, son.
Good. Do you want a dog biscuit?
Would you like a biscuit, Dwayne?
Oh no, those gourmet dog snacks bring me out in a rash.
You've tried them?
They were on special offer. Pearl bought a whole crate. When I asked her if she was thinking of keeping a dog too, she just laughed.
So she just bought a bunch of things on special. That's an interesting truck.
Stealing trucks wasn't my style.
And Ubier's over here.
I had nothing else to ask him just then.
Okay, so that's good. So, okay, let's get out of this area. We've talked to Ubier, we've talked to Dwayne. We've come full circle. I have this sinking feeling that has something to do with these people were not being truthful to me. And they're not talking. So what about the general?
Tell me about the general. You know, the guy in charge around here.
We don't want to talk about him, senor.
How come? No one can hear you. Well, only that old goat.
In Quaramonte we have a saying.
Yes?
Don't tell your old goat what you don't want your wife to know.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay, so we just got a question mark upgrade. I need to see the chart and get to prison cells. How to get rid of the general? That's a good idea. So hint 1, perhaps you can create some kind of distraction. In a police station, talk to the general about the chart. Go speak to Dwayne, perhaps you can walk together. Go to the mining office and talk to Conchita, she may be interested in the chart. Back in the square, out of the earshot of the general, talk to Nico about the chart and go see the general. So...
Hey, Nico!
Hey Nico! We are going into the police station! Sorry, I've been acting all weird and funny and stuff. So, hello Mr. Policeman! We're just gonna look at your chart, you're gonna chase us away, then we're gonna speak to Dwayne and do the thing we need to do. Yes!
Sorry, I forgot.
Okay, so I need to get to look at the chart. Let's see. Perhaps we can create some kind of distraction. Where's Dwayne? Dwayne, come. Walk faster. Nico! Just follow me around, lady. We need you. You are the brains of the operation, Nicole. And also, why did he walk around the long way? Also, Ubier is gone, which is a good thing. Dwayne?
Maybe I'm wrong, but you seemed kind of evasive when I asked you about what you had in that truck before.
Damn right I was being evasive. I couldn't talk in front of the foreign national, see? George, I'm on a top-secret classified mission for Uncle Sam. This truck is a rolling bomb. 400 pounds of nitrate fertilizer with a plastique initiator. They'll hear the bang in China. Gee, I'm really looking forward to this.
What exactly is he blowing up?
Is Miguel the reason you're here?
Pretty smart, George. I was supposed to make contact with him. By the time I found him, though, he was in jail. I've been trying to figure out a way to get him out since then.
Sounds good to me. Count me in.
Good man, George. All I need is a detonator.
A detonator?
How come you brought a truckload of explosives but no detonator?
Call me old-fashioned, but I say packing trunks is woman's work. I left the packing to Pearl, and I can't find a darn thing. Just hope she remembered to bring my denture polish. I'd sure hate to arrive back in the States with tar on my teeth.
That's actually quite terrifying. So, I'm gonna quickly talk to Pearl. Maybe she knows where your thingy is, and I can let you know, you know? And maybe we can blow a hole in this joint and get away from it all. I want the detonator.
Do you know where I could buy a detonator?
Did Dwayne put you up to this by any chance?
Hey, come on, I was kidding. Did you think I was serious?
Yes.
I know what you boys are like when you get together and make plans.
You
Dwayne
do?
says he could solve all the world's problems if he had enough missiles.
Probably could. In a bad way.
I hear you drove all the way to Quaramonte. In a truck.
That's right. You would not believe the state of some of those roads. Makes me downright sad to think there's still some places you can't reach in an automobile. In this day and age, you'd think there'd be decent highways just about anywhere folk choose to go.
But I kind of prefer the
Did you know that the
off-road
truck
route.
was full of explosives?
Whatever gave you that idea, as if I couldn't guess?
Your husband. He was exaggerating, wasn't he?
Sometimes I wonder how I'm gonna cope with Dwayne's over-fertile imagination.
Catch you later, Pearl.
Over fertile imagination and fertilizer. So there's no fucking explosives, Dwayne. All I want is a look at the thingy. Come on, Dwayne. Stop talking me shit. Shit to me, anyway.
Have you really never heard of Condor?
Of course I have, son. Matter of fact, it was old Dwayne's investigation scared him off.
Oh? How did you do
Did you
that?
find any evidence of Condor's drug smuggling operations?
Drugs? Hell no! Condor was a cover for the illegal export of Mayan artifacts.
Oh, so
So
Obier
who
is...
was behind Condor Transglobal?
It was registered in the name of Edan.
Did you get the guy?
I don't think he ever existed. Edan backwards spells Nady, Spanish for nobody.
Well, that's actually quite interesting. Dwayne, can we do something about the... Dwayne.
I had nothing else to ask him.
Dwayne. Okay, I'm gonna talk to that man with the plank and wheels. I have to figure out what to do.
Hi, I'm George Stobart.
Can you talk? Oh, that's the guy that lost his legs.
What can you tell me about the...
Okay, well, time to ask him the rest of these questions I have for him.
Can you tell me anything about this stone?
That's obsidian. It's a volcanic rock which has cooled so fast that...
Yeah, look, I'm not interested in geology.
This-
You're not. I suppose you want to know about the carved picture on it.
Yes.
That's right.
Then the guy you should talk to is the professor. He was here a while ago.
Oh, the professor, but he didn't seem to know all that much. Previously, there's going to be a bit of a part missing in this episode. I was just a bit interrupted while he was talking, which is... Oh, fuck it. Anyway, let's ask about the statue.
Do you
Sorry
know what
about that.
this statue represents?
Should do. I used to carve things like that to sell to tourists. But it scared people around here, so I stopped.
Oh, okay. That's pretty interesting. Do you want these panties?
What do you think of these panties?
Awesome. You wear them?
Yeah.
No, someone sent them to my girlfriend.
Thoughtful.
I have to say, currently the voice acting quality has gone down quite a bit in the... Well, not the quality of the audio anyway has gone down quite a bit.
Have you heard about the eclipse of the sun?
Sure, I'm having a party to celebrate it. Drop by.
Really?
Sure. Plenty of food, plenty of wine, and everyone's invited, except the general.
Why not the general?
Why don't you want the general at your party?
Because if he comes, he'll bring those damned music albums from the 70s.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't agree, that's bad.
Do you recognize the design on this label?
Why, sure. That's the Condor Transglobal Shipping Company logo.
Do they have an office in Quaramonte?
No, but they ship out from here.
That's what I thought.
That's quite interesting. Probably
Did
don't
you
know.
see the ship with the Condor flag?
No.
But the dock is just the other side of the square.
Might as well be the other side of the moon.
Oh yeah, that is quite not thoughtful of you. Okay, so I think I'm going to end this episode right here. I'm going to try and figure out what's going on. And, well, we'll see you guys again next time. We'll hopefully find a way out of here. We just need to get that chart in our hands. But no problem. Everything is fine. Everything is perfect. Anyway, see you guys again later. Bye-bye.